Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Committee will come to order. I want to thank each of you for the delay that was caused this evening as we finished not only the hearing portion but also the opportunity to make sure that we were getting closer together on the final package, and we've done that now. And I would yield to the gentlewoman from North Carolina for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the committee provide for further consideration of H.R. 1947, the Federal Agriculture Reform and Risk Management Act of 2013 under a structured rule. The rule provides no additional general debate. The rule makes an order as original text for purpose of amendment, an amendment in the nature of a substitute consisting of the text of Rules Committee Print 113-14, modified by the amendment printed in Part A of the Rules Committee report. That amendment in the nature of a substitute shall be considered as read. The rule waives all points of order against that amendment in the nature of a substitute. The rule makes an order only those further amendments printed in Part B of the report and amendments en bloc described in Section 3 of the resolution. Each amendment printed in Part B of the report may be offered only in the order printed in the report, may be offered only by a member designated in the report, shall be considered as read, shall be debatable for the time specified in the report, equally divided and controlled by the proponent and an opponent, may be withdrawn by its proponent at any time before action thereon, shall not be subject to amendment, shall not be subject to a demand for a division of the question. The rule waives all points of order against the amendments printed in Part B of the report or against amendments en bloc as described in Section 3 of the resolution. Section 3 of the resolution provides that it shall be in order at any time for the chair of the Committee on Agriculture or his designee offer amendments en bloc consisting of amendments printed in Part B of the report not earlier disposed of. Amendments en bloc shall be considered as read, shall be debatable for 20 minutes, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Agriculture or their designees, shall not be subject to amendment, and shall not be subject to a demand for division of the question. The original proponent of an amendment included in such amendment en bloc may insert a statement in the congressional record. Finally, the rule provides one motion to recommit with or without instructions.
Committee has now heard the motion from the gentlewoman from North Carolina, and I'll yield myself to explain the rule. This is a structured rule for consideration of amendments to the Farm Bill. The committee received 230 amendments, and the rule makes an order 103 of those. 50 of the amendments are offered by Republican members, and 53 amendments are offered by Democrats or bipartisan groups of members. It also self-executes an amendment to address a pair of a point of order against the bill as reported. Several amendments on major issues will receive additional debate time. The chairman of the Committee on Agriculture will have the traditional authority to group amendments to expedite consideration. This rule, which gives members on both sides of the aisle the opportunity, I think, to thoroughly debate the bill, and I am very much in support of the bill and the rule, and I want to thank all members for their consideration. The floor is now open for amendment or discussion. Gentleman from
first of all, Mr. Chairman,
Massachusetts recognized.
Let me also thank everyone on the committee and the staff for all the work they put into this. And while we're going to offer a few amendments here, just because some of our members had some amendments that they thought were important, I do want to acknowledge the fact that I think this is a pretty broad rule, and I also want to say that I appreciate the fact that that it appears that you and the rest of the committee have taken some of the amendments that have been offered by members of us on the Rules Committee on the minority side very seriously. We appreciate that. So let me begin with saying that.
And let me say thank you very much for that acknowledgement. And I think that if we're going to be consistent in our behavior, at least trying, and starting out from that position is good, and I appreciate it.
Doesn't mean we're going to vote for the rule.
I just
I don't want to be too nice, but I do want to acknowledge that, and
yes, sir,
because it is important, and I think, and I want you to know that we take note of opportunities where you give us an opportunity to be able.
Well, I'm sure, like me, when I was a quarterback on the field and I threw interceptions, I forgot about it. So I'm sure you'll forget about this tomorrow.
My first amendment, I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee grant the Farm Bill H.R. 1947 an open rule so that all members have the opportunity to offer an amendment to the bill on the floor.
Gentleman offers the McGovern to make this an open rule. I think it's a fair rule, and I would urge the committee to adopt the rule in place. Those in favor, any further discussion of the amendment by the gentleman from Massachusetts? Hearing none, the vote will be on the McGovern amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Noes have it, noes have it. A further debate, discussion, or amendment?
Mr. Chairman, I have
Gentleman's recognized.
an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order and give the necessary waivers for the amendment by Mr. Denham, number 166, which would strike section 12314 of the bill and replace it with the text of H.R. 1731, a bill to create a uniform national standard for housing of egg-laying hens.
You've now heard the McGovern amendment. I would address this by saying that I feel like that this Denham amendment received a great amount of information, play, opportunity, and in the bottom line is the committee really on a bipartisan basis did not support the bill, and we're not going to include it. Any further discussion? Those in favor of the McGovern amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. No. Noes have it.
And I have asked for a roll call on that.
Roll call.
Ms. Fox?
No.
Ms. Fox? No. Mr. Bishop? Mr. Bishop? No. Mr. Cole? Mr. Cole? No. Mr. Woodall? Mr. Woodall? Aye. Mr. Nugent? Mr. Nugent? No. Mr. Webster? Mr. Webster? No. Ms. Ross-Leitonen? Mr. Burgess? Mr. Burgess? No. Ms. Slaughter? Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern? Aye. Mr. Hastings? Mr. Polis?
Aye.
Polis? Aye. Mr. Chairman?
No.
Chairman? No.
Clerk will report.
3 yeas, 7 nays.
Amendment's not agreed to. Further amendment or discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you. I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order and give the necessary waivers for the amendment by Representative DeLauro, number 65, which would set the government guaranteed target for crop insurance company profitability at 12%.
You've now heard the McGovern amendment. Further discussion? Hearing none, the vote will now be on the McGovern amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Noes have it, noes
May I
have
ask
it.
for a roll call?
Gentleman asks for a roll call.
Ms. Fox?
No.
Ms. Fox? No. Mr. Bishop? Mr. Bishop? No. Mr. Cole? Mr. Cole? No. Mr. Woodall? Mr. Woodall? No. Mr. Nugent? Mr. Nugent? No. Mr. Webster? Mr. Webster? No. Ms. Ross-Leitonen? Mr. Burgess? Mr. Burgess? No. Ms. Slaughter? Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern? Aye. Mr. Hastings? Mr. Polis? Aye. Mr. Polis? Aye. Mr. Chairman?
No.
Mr. Chairman, no.
Clerk will report.
2 yeas, 8 nays.
Amendment's not agreed to. Further amendment? Gentleman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order and give the necessary waivers for the amendment by Kirsten Sinema, number 162, which would require the Secretary of Agriculture to provide technical assistance to the U.S. Customs and Border on identifying certain produce. Mr. Chair, if I can speak to that.
Gentleman is recognized for discussion.
So there were two amendments that are described similarly, 162 and 163. Of course, I'm grateful that the committee has allowed 163. The difference with 162 is it deals with trademarks that are in violation of federal trademark law and essentially provides technical assistance to border protection to help identify and protect consumers and American producers from products that are labeled in violation of a trademark. The other amendments that allowed has to do with the country of origin labeling. No doubt also important, people who are trying to bring in products that say grown in USA when they're not. Obviously that technical assistance is important, but the technical assistance is also important for fraudulent products that violate a trademark. So I'm hopeful that the committee can make an order number 162 as well, and I know that amendment has bipartisan support.
Appreciate the gentleman's comments. Further discussion. Gentleman did properly note that number 163, not the same but similar, was accepted within the rule. Those in favor of the Post amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Noes have it. Noes have it.
Mr. Roll call vote, Mr. Chair?
Roll call.
Fox. No. Ms. Fox, no. Mr. Bishop. No. Mr. Bishop, no. Mr. Cole. No. Mr. Cole, no. Mr. Woodall. No. Mr. Woodall, no. Mr. Nugent. No. Mr. Nugent, no. Mr. Webster. No. Mr. Webster, no. Ms. Ross-Lehtinen. Mr. Burgess. No. Mr. Burgess, no. Ms. Slaughter. Mr. McGovern. Mr. McGovern, aye. Mr. Hastings. Mr. Polis.
Aye.
Mr. Polis, aye. Mr. Chairman.
No.
Mr. Chairman, no.
Clerk will report total.
2 yeas, 8 nays.
Amendment, Ms. Post's amendment is not agreed to. Further amendment or discussion? Further discussion. The vote will now be on the Fox motion that is on the floor. All those in favor of the motion by the gentlewoman from North Carolina signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Thank you very much for all the hard work that we have done today. We will be on the floor tomorrow. I will be managing the amendment process on the Farm Bill.
And I will be for the minority.
And the gentleman, Mr. McGovern, will be there. We do not expect any other meeting this week. And I would also, without objection, like to put a statement in for the record from the gentleman from Indiana, Marlon Stutzman. Without objection, that will be entered. Thank you very much to the staff. The staff, once again, has done an awesome job, not only to make sure we're prepared, but to make sure that we properly communicate with each other. And that extends on a bipartisan basis. Well, sometimes that's a good question, but the facts of the case are that they're doing a great job, and I greatly appreciate it, and I think it helps us all out. And when we get on the floor tomorrow, I hope it shows. We're done with the work for the week. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.